Ramirez, Giants pre and post game today. He's locked in.
Oh.
He's stealing notes from us.
7 screens.
We know they have Casey Schmidt, and that bothers me. I want Casey Schmidt on the big league team right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Play VR at second, play Schmidt at third. Why not? Did you see Wilmer Flores yesterday?
Why are you doing this to me? God bless
I like Wilmer Flores. God bless him.
I know.
But he gets up there at the top of the 7, hacks at the first pitch.
Well, his bat's not the problem. It's he doesn't really have a position. Like today's playing first base. They've got a zillion first base DH'men. They've got Jock, Wade, J.D. Davis, and Wilmer. That's too many.
So I'm looking at his AAA debut, Kyle Harrison, 2+ innings, 62 pitches, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 infield hit, 1 run charge that was charged to him, and he left in the 3rd inning. So he's trying to work himself up. But this is what I'm talking about, Giants. You got to start developing. Man. Win. Now they got a game today. They can move to 3-3.
Well, let me read you the lineup today. I had it out over here. Let me get it to you right now because it's like.
You see this, Logan Webb and Tim Anderson. We'll play the sound for Logan Webb in just a second. But he got ejected in the 3rd inning. Read the lineup, Shasky. Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I was pulling it up. My phone is playing games with me.
Here, I got it right here.
Here it is.
Artist.
All right. Lamont Wade Jr. starting in left field. He's playing now his 3rd position of the year. Okay. Batting .214. It's only 5 games in. Wilmer Flores at first base. Jock Peterson is your DH. He's batting .211, although I would say he's hit the ball harder than the .211 numbers. David VR at second base, which Sam and I were predicting. I said 3rd, 2nd, and 1st should be his positions. Conforto, who's just been struggling in right field.
He's off to a cold start.
He's off to a really cold start. Hey, if this was 2016 and they had signed Michael Conforto, Giants fans would be losing their minds.
Yes.
At the production this early. Like, we ran Denard Span out of town for less than this.
But it's not 2016, and Michael Conforto didn't even play last season.
I know.
Didn't even play 2022.
J.D. Davis at third base. Yastrzemski in center field. Estrada at shortstop today. Who's batting .375. He's probably
so why not go VR? Well,
and then Sable behind the dish.
If you don't have Casey Schmidt, Estrada second base, VR third base. That should be every day.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
But that's why I want to see Casey Schmidt come up, because to me, I like Estrada at second. He's not a shortstop.
So, all right, so you go Estrada at second.
And Crawford booted the ball yesterday.
So you go Schmidt
times.
at third base. So where do you go do VR?
Well, VR to me is a super utility guy. I go
Can he play first?
Second, first. Yes, he played first at the end of last year.
So this is what I want to see then. VR, Estrada, Schmidt in the infield.
So VR did a little video with Laura Britt.
Yeah.
It's going to be released, I think, fully today. But it was him walking around saying he's a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
Does that make you like VR more?
Absolutely. I watched the whole segment.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I loved it. It was a good segment for Laura, too.
He's a big, thick dude, huh?
No, he
Not
is.
Not height-wise, but like body.
He's got power, dude.
Yes.
But you got to let these guys play to see what we have.
He's got personality, too. I like his personality.
Real quick, before we get to Uncle Gene, I'm going to get to Logan Webb on his altercation with Tim Anderson, because that was underrated. And look, Tim Anderson is a firecracker. He loves talking that talk. Didn't the White Sox and Giants get into it last season? I feel like they did with La Russa and them.
Well,
maybe.
You know why I like Anderson is because I tell all the kids that are like super into soccer or basketball or whatever, I go, Tim Anderson barely played high school baseball. Yeah. Okay, he played, I believe, his senior year. That was it. And then went to a JUCO after basketball flamed out for him. Mm-hmm. And like, it was his second or third love. Yep. And he's in the majors and on Team USA.
Yep. So the Giants pitchers, DeSclafani got into it with Andrew Vaughn in the first game of the series. And then yesterday, Logan Webb and Tim Anderson had some words. Here's what Webb had to say about it.
He called time, and he got back in the box. And he was looking at me, I was looking at him. So I started my windup, and I wasn't trying to quick pitch or anything, but he took it that way, I guess. So he was yelling at me from the dugout for like 5 straight pitches. So I looked at the dugout more than a couple times. Once during the rubber at bat, and then after the rubber at bat, and you could probably see what I said. And then he was just yelling back at me. I don't necessarily think he should have gotten tossed. I think he was talking to me. He wasn't talking to the umpires. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna listen to that for a bunch of pitches. It is what it is. So I said what I said.
I said what I said. I love a good old baseball dust up. But Logan Webb hasn't pitched good yet, and that's. And as Guru, I just saw Guru walk into the green room. he would say it right on the table. Webb hasn't been good enough. And if you want to be the top of the rotation guy, you have to – I know, again, I'm going to sound like a broken clock or broken record. This lineup is going to strike out a lot. All right? It's just – it is what it is. Mm-hmm. They're going to walk. They're going to strike out. They're not going to run the bases as much as we think they are. Everybody said it, from Flem, from Contos, to Richie, to Laura, even Carlos Ramirez. How deep is this pitching staff? Everybody said it's the deepest pitching staff they had in years. Well, so far, I haven't been impressed.
Well, just because you accumulate a lot of starters doesn't mean those starters are good or high end. Like, you've lost, like, say what you want. Gosman and Rodon, those are the top 2 or 3 pitchers in every rotation in baseball. So you lost 2 guys who would be at the top of almost every single staff in baseball. Mm-hmm. How many teams can do that and replenish?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
B, I know you want to get to Gene in Oakland, but can we play the Buster Posey sound about the free agency pitches? Because I think this is an interesting convo.
All right, here it is right here.
Are you part of that whole free agent courting process? Are you did you meet with Judge or who else? The Correas, is that kind of part of your role?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything in person, but was on the phone some with them, text, calls here and there. But my recruiting record, even as a player, is not great. So I'm kind of a little bit. I'm kind of like, I might need to just stay out of this.
What's the pitch, though? What did you guys say or talk about? Obviously, Aaron's a great dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to what I was just saying. It's just the understanding the San Francisco fan base. I mean, I'm definitely biased because, I played there and really enjoyed playing there. But I think it's a similar East Coast vibe, right? Like you got to maybe not quite as tough on their own players as a New York or a Boston, but a fan base that's very knowledgeable, and they want a winner, And to me, as a competitor, you want to go to a place that has a fan base that expects you to win year in and year out, and that's the San Francisco Giants fan base, and that's how you're going to get the most out of your guys, right? Like you're in a lineup, you're in a city that expects you to compete for a championship each year.
Okay, so I agree with a lot of what he was saying there. Posey says at the end, a fan base that expects to compete for a championship year in, year out. I don't think that's the Giants fan base, and I'm not knocking them. I think that they're smart enough to realize that, there are cycles, there are windows for your team to be good. Let's go to the Niners. There's a lot of overlap Giants-Niner fans. In 2018, when they found Jimmy Garoppolo the year prior, was the expectations Super Bowl or bust for the Niners?
No, but it was playoffs.
Agreed.
Right away.
Agreed.
Which was still far-fetched. It was whoa, wait a minute.
And that felt aggressive.
Right.
Right?
It was aggressive. I think you underrate the market in being aggressive, Shasky. I think you underrate Giants fans in terms of wanting championships and being competitive year in and year out.
But do you think that they're championship or it's a complete failure? I don't think it's
not now.
That's what I'm saying.
Not now.
That's what I mean.
But it's been so low.
Yes.
They haven't gone to the playoffs. They missed out 5 of the last 6 years.
I know.
They've been awful 5 of the last 6 years.
That's kind of my point.
The expectations have lowered in a sense, but they're lowered, and at the same time, we're saying, wake me up when you're competing for championships again. I'll come to the yard when you're competitive again. 107 wins, people still didn't come until September.
I know.
Because they didn't believe it. And then finally in September, it's like, okay, we got something here. And then they lose to the Dodgers in 5 games. It's like, okay. But then the expectations last year coming off that season was, we're back in it. We're ready to roll. Let's go.
Yeah, but they didn't have any carryover, and they lost their best player.
They didn't have any carryover.
You didn't retain Gosman.
People still thought they
Posey.
could replicate. A lot of people thought Lamont Wade Jr. could do what he did in 2021 when he was late night Lamont. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you and I were skeptical.
Oh, I was very skeptical. But Giants fans, you mentioned it earlier. A lot of Giants fans are delusional. Not all of them.
No.
We've got some, and I worked at that other station. I took a lot of calls. Yeah. Giants fans can be delusional at times. I mean, we were holding on hope for Ty Block and Tyler Beatty for so many years. I'm dead serious.
You're right.
That's what we do as Giants fans. And so now the talk of this offseason was, well, we're almost closer. Harrison's going to be up. You talk me to Casey Smith. Now I'm fired up about Casey Smith. So
I like that you're excited about Casey Smith. That makes me feel happy.
But no, I want to see some young talent.
I know you do.
I want to see a guy come up and saying, all right, you guys are talking about this guy. Use him if you're failing to get stars,
Does
you have to
Buster get-
develop.
But like, okay, you heard
Like the
Buster.
Yankees, even though the Yankees are in the star market and are getting stars,
Yeah.
they're still developing talent.
I know. Well, they got the kid playing shortstop right now is their youngest
Clay
player.
Holmes is up as their closer.
Yes.
Like they still develop. Gleyber Torres has been in their system forever.
And he's a
Aaron
baller.
Judge was homegrown.
Yes, he was.
You know what I'm saying?
But like Monte, it's interesting. Like I'm listening to Buster Posey, and I think you were all over it. Like we made it such a big deal. He's part of the ownership group. He's not even in the Bay Area.
Yeah, well-
and I'm not knocking him for that. It's just the truth. Like I know Jerry West wasn't in the Bay Area the full time, but like let's be real. Jerry West is a salesman.
Yep.
When Jerry West gets in front of someone, he's charismatic, right? And he has a track record of not just putting together great teams, but of securing big time players.
Mm-hmm.
Buster Posey, like, God bless you. He even said it in there. I'm not a great recruiter.
Well,
What?
well,
He can't be like, I love the dude. He cannot be part of the pitch.
Well-
That can't be your selling point.
well, Buster Posey admitting that he's not a good recruiter. And then again, no, everybody said I was an idiot for thinking this, but when you announce him as a minority shareholder of this organization,
yeah.
and you do a Zoom to
Yeah,
welcome
I
him,
know. You were on that.
you talk. The Giants act like they're big time.
You were on that.
That was a small time move.
It was.
How do you not have a presser in front of the Bay Area media to say, what's your role
For your
going to be,
legend.
Buster? Buster Posey is one of
I
the
know.
10 greatest Giants ever.
I know.
And you do a Zoom with Greg Johnson, and it was all over the place.
I know.
That felt very small time. And the way the Giants operate right now is very small time.
I'm starting to believe that they're like this whole we're going to land this big free agent, and
I don't believe
it's
it.
all fool's gold. So
It
to
is.
me, like the only way that they're going to get out of where they're at right now
is with the,
is with the
homegrown talent.
David VRs and the
Yep.
Casey Schmitz and the Kyle Harrisons and the part of that leaves me. It's hard for me to be optimistic that path is going to actually bear fruit.
Yep.
Because very few has come through there.
No, it's going to be a while.
I mean,
It's
you're
gonna be a
saying
while.
Sean Jelly. How long have we heard about Sean Jelly?
For years,
And
and,
now-
he looks very average, if that.
That
and
might
I'm being
even
kind.
that might even be
I
kind.
mean, I see nothing special with him.
That might even be
The
kind.
only thing that's special is his height. Oh,
Yeah.
he's a tall guy on the mound. Okay, great. 6'8", 6'9", awesome.
I know. And so,
But
like,
can you throw a strike?
yeah, exactly. And so, I just keep coming back to this. Like, Farhan's not going to be the guy that's going to charismatically close a free agent deal. Larry Bear maybe at one time was a guy who could do that. Buster's not that guy.
No, not even close.
All right, like, and say what you want. When John Lynch gets in a room, with a free
He
agent,
closes the deal.
he does.
They close it.
I mean,
So,
when
let me ask you
your
this,
boy, Bob Myers gets in the room with
They
someone,
close deals.
Jerry West, they close it, and I don't think their path is via free agency.
So let me ask you then, what is Posey's role?
I think it's all smoke and mirrors, and I don't blame them for this. I would do this too if I was them.
But what's
It's
Posey's
goodwill.
role?
It's goodwill for the fan base to believe that we're on the right track. I think
Is
it's
that it?
Yeah, and I also think if we're really like
So
good to-
I'm trying to figure out Posey's role.
his role is ambassador. His role is what Al Addles' role is currently for the Warriors.
But you got Will Clark for that, right?
Yeah, but I think
You
Will's
got
I think Will's too honest.
Yeah,
that I think he
well,
rubs people wrong. And also, let's call it. No, I'm
He
going to say
took some
this.
shots at Brendan Bell too. It was all out.
Well,
Barry Bonds.
Will sees the game the way I see the game.
Yeah.
Not that I'm Will Clark, but I reject a lot of the philosophies of analytics, the way that it's being portrayed, putting together everyday lineups.
Will Clark came on this show while Brendan Belt was in the organization and said, I could tell Brendan Belt till he's blue in the face. Go the other way, dude. He just won't do it.
He just won't do it.
I quit. And he was down on Brendan Belt.
I know.
Down on him. He ripped Joey Gallo, by the way, gave him a drive-by. The Joey Gallo's of the world.
But I think more Giants fans, and I know there's a lot of young fans that love the data and the analytics. I'm not saying that data and all that stuff isn't important. It can't move you on every decision. It just can't.
Yeah.
You got to have more field. It's played by humans.
Yeah.
This isn't a science experiment. And so when I hear like Will Clark, we have Rich Aurelio on last week.
He wasn't. I'll believe it when I see it, basically.
What do you think Rich Aurelio's thinking when you're pinch hitting your 5-hitter on opening day, 2 at-bats in?
Yeah, it's a joke. That's a joke. That means you don't really have a 5-hitter.
How many teams in baseball are pinch hitting their 5-hitter on opening day?
It means you don't have a 5-hitter.
I bet that's...
You know what I'm saying?
And you spent $170 million.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and AC1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. And with all that said, the Giants can leave Chicago at 3-3 on the road at Yankee Stadium and Chicago. So we'll see how they play today.